We're back at the Santa Rosa truck trail. If you've ever seen me ride this before, the only real difference this time is going to be that we're going at a little bit of a faster pace. This is just due to having grown more accustomed to the trail and also just increasing our confidence in off-road riding. There's no narration to the camera. You're going to be hearing my side of the conversation over our intercom, so it's not the most engaging content. That said, if you're interested in seeing the trail end to end and haven't seen it before, feel free to keep watching. I'll mark some of the more difficult spots as separate chapters.
Face. Like I poke it at things and stuff. Yeah, and then it's gonna get even colder towards the top. First bit of sand. Are you back? There you are. I'm still super paranoid about these corners. Like I have no sense of how much traction I actually have. Yeah, that too. But then also there's just the amount of traction. I don't want to slide out. Or just tuck my... Yeah, so now you have to worry about the front potentially tucking in as well. I already and I already caught myself in the beginning. I was once again forgetting to steer with my weight as opposed to the handlebar. Caught myself pretty early, but it's easy to forget. Every time you're on the road, you're practicing the literal opposite, right? Yeah. I guess that maybe that is the argument to do it in the other direction, but I still like the fact that the more exercise, like cardiovascularly challenging one is first. I still think it makes sense. Yeah. Even though there are segments here that you can actually go faster and kind of more easily because you don't have the sand in all this. I mean, there's a bunch of sand, but not on some sections are sand free. Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, that first half for sure. Yes, this is Thomas Mountain Chill. Yeah, it does start with a decent incline and somewhat of a tricky turn. Yeah, that's fair. Here's where the deep sand in the middle starts showing up. Yeah. Yeah, definitely there's been a cooling off a little bit, I think. I wonder if it's a little bit of like, because at least a couple of them were new to it, and so maybe like there was a bit of an initial excitement, and like it's kind of tampering down a little bit. Yeah. I just lost you, I think. I don't know if you're still speaking or if you can hear. There we go. Probably that too. I mean, in terms of like novelty, like I had the same when I started getting into dirt biking, like because I had wanted to do that for so long. So initially it was worth the whole like getting up early and wrestling the trailer and driving for hours and hours, but it got old once the novelty wore off, and it was still really fun, but it wasn't, you know, I wasn't quite as motivated, right? And that's where like that became old, and I went to adventure bikes. So I've experienced that sort of loss of novelty affecting motivation. Interesting. Yeah. Is there a lot of prepping for a track day? Like, what do you do in terms of prepping? I believe I lost you. Like, what is the prepping for a track day? What do you do to prep bike-wise? Oh, I see. I see. So just regular maintenance plus the sort of taping up lights. Some sand coming up in the middle again, deep sand, or not deep, but you know, deeper. find anybody yet. Probably, yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, and I think the elevation is starting to have an effect too. Still with me? There we go. It's hard to tell how far behind you are. I didn't get the disconnect message, but you weren't answering, so most likely. Yeah. You good? There's that little thing on the right side that you might not want to run over. Maybe, I mean, it looks like plastic, I think, but I haven't checked. Here's Renee's turn, off camber and everything on the other direction. Here's a Jeep coming in, 2 of them. Or trucks, whatever, vehicles. Another truck. And another one. There you are. You with me? Cool. Another truck coming. Sandy turn coming up. sandy. Right turn coming up. Okay. Did you hear my warning or did it not come through? Okay. Yes. I'm not hearing anything if there's a beeping or something that you're asking about. Yeah. Oh, okay. Do you want to stop the charge or do you not have one? Okay. Fair enough. I'll probably post it anyway, even if there's nothing interesting. I'm not really trying to build an audience and optimizing for it. It's mostly for my own purposes anyway. Right. Yeah, here's the crater, here's the crater. Yeah, and for me it's also like the limited time I have to ride hours to the trail on the weekends. It's sort of, I don't know that I want to spend the time setting up shots and stuff. Yeah, and then you have to like turn back and turn it back again and go by and turn back, get the camera. Oh, I see, okay. Yeah, that makes sense, it's easier. Might be slower, but it's easier. Yeah. Bit sandy in the middle there. It's getting almost chilly. It's getting almost chilly. Not chilly, but like it's properly not not warm anymore. Yeah. Yeah. I've got them permanently out. I've been considering trying them again to see if maybe it's actually better with them in. I don't know. I might try it. Sorry, we're cutting out there for a bit. Still with me? Still with me? Testing, testing. There we go. Can you hear me? Cool. I forgot what we were talking about, but I didn't hear your response or something, or I just... Oh yeah. I see, so it's... Yeah. Yeah. I see. Yeah, so I never ride with them. I don't just take them off for off-road, I just never ride with them. But I have never really felt that vibrations are a problem for me on this bike. Like, I get that, like, smaller bikes, high RPM, highway, etc. I totally get it, right? Yeah, that could be it. We're at the ruts now. Nobody camping. I actually looked this time since I completely missed them last time. Maybe it's a Sunday thing. I feel like it's not going to be a weather thing, I don't think, because it's certainly good enough weather. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's fair, and some of them are probably far away, and maybe they have like a car with full of a family, and it takes time to, like, you need to leave early, and then you have all the chores to get done. Yeah. Yeah. As long as it doesn't start raining, that's when I start objecting. As long as it doesn't start raining, that's when I start objecting. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, maybe. Here's the second crater coming up. Second crater coming up. Second crater coming up. have missed it, or I wasn't thinking about it at least. Here's the rutted out corner that I dropped. I think it's the same corner at least, where I dropped before. Seems less sandy now. It was rutted out still, but it just seemed less sandy, or maybe it's because it's might just be that it's overcast. It looks different to me. Perhaps I wasn't the best line. I actually went sort of wide. I didn't plan that really well. And here comes the incline, the rocky incline. Yeah. Partially it's better on the right, but I feel like some sections are also better on the left. I don't know. Here it's definitely getting better. Yeah. I mean, I do slow down a little bit, but yeah, you need to be consistent. Yeah. Whew. So not a single biker so far, unfortunately. Or I don't know why it's unfortunate, but that's fair. Yeah, I'm imagining that most people are going to be local, so it's easy for them to come out early. I mean, you're kind of a local. I know I'm holding you back with the timing, but still with me? There you are. Yeah, it feels empty. Here we have folks. Yeah. Almost dropped the bike when I was stopping here. I'm glad you do that too, even though you're like a multi-year experienced rider. It's not just me. I've stopped doing it for the most part now on the street. Like I'm getting to the point where I can make a pretty solid, not super careful start at a light without thinking about it too much and not stalling. It still happens every once in a while, but it's pretty good now. Yeah, on the street it was mostly that if I felt rushed, like if something happened because I was still at a point where I was actively thinking about it, like my hand movements, then it would sort of be one of those things where I stall. But I've gotten it mostly down to sort of not necessarily thinking about it too much, which took a while. Took a while to get there. And I'm not fully there, but yeah. 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 And I was late to it as well because my initial street bike was electric. So my only clutch practice was off-road, where I almost never shift gears on my dirt bike. So I actually only have like 3 months or so actually riding on the street. Whenever I got this, I think it was about 3 months ago, like riding on the street with a clutch. Okay, sorry, I think my phone is alarming or something because I feel my vibrating watch. I'm just gonna see what's up. Okay, good to go. It's like, am I getting like an emergency nuclear missile alert or what's happening? Like, still feeling myself defaulting to the front brake. Still need to work on, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. And that makes it especially hard when you need to do it suddenly and quickly and you're not thinking about it ahead of time, right? This is where I go to the right actually, because the left is a little bit more limiting, but then I can go back to the left. Okay, there we go. I think so, yeah, because there's rocks everywhere basically. Can't avoid them. Okay, I'm forcing myself not to cheat with the front brake. Whew, okay. Yeah, and the ruts. By the way, I don't mean to imply that it's rear brake only off-road, but I want to force myself so that I'm used to it, and then I can add the front brake. But I just need to get out of that like front brake first mentality. Right. So do they teach not even going into the corner, or is this like adjusting speed during the corner? Okay, yeah. Because I'm imagining like if you're going at any speed whatsoever, you're gonna have to use it coming into it, right? Yeah. I do some trail braking when it's appropriate, but most of the time I'm going so slow that just letting off the throttle is all I need to do coming into the corner. Because I'm on the street, like I just keep a lot of margin. I don't want to get close to my limits. Crater. Yeah. I mean, do they teach that when you do it on track days? Do they teach with or without front ABS enabled? Even during practice. Okay, yeah, I figured, because like it's when you're going that fast, even though you're not going super fast because you're a beginner, going at street speeds in these corners, and if you make a mistake, like that's pretty high consequence, right? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you're just saying at higher speed, so you're scraping at low speed turns, basically. Yeah. Yeah. But like. No, I know, but fast for the radius, and that's why you end up with a lean angle. I just realized I'm riding super slow even when it's almost flat, just because I'm being I just try to do that when it's an actual decline, but I don't have to do it in between the declines. Oh, Arima, yeah, I know who you're talking about, yeah. I don't think so. I may have seen the thumbnail. I don't think I watched it. I mean, I don't actually know off the top of my head either whether they actually share borders. I'd have to look at a map to remember that. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Pretty great to be paid to do that. And I'm sure it's not just that he's getting the bike for free, it's presumably a sponsorship, right? So. Yeah, him and a few others of these YouTuber folk. Yeah, that must be super helpful. Like, you're not learning from scratch as an adult. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the same at MX tracks. You got these like bikes that are so small that it just looks like a toy. It's Yeah, I never did the dirt biking, but I did so much mountain biking off-road. In retrospect, it's kind of interesting that I didn't at any point get hurt properly. Crater. I see. And somebody convinced you that it would be helpful. But so you said instead of, so like, do you regret not just that you didn't continue, but that you got into street riding, or is it just like you would have preferred to do both? I see. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's too bad. Really? Yeah. Well, that's too bad. Right. And then having trouble getting to and from the whatever you actually want to ride the dirt bike, yeah. Sandy corner. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. I really wanted to get, I mean, well, it was a moped I wanted at the time when I was a kid, which technically I guess does not count as a motorcycle, but I really wanted to get one. Yeah, they can be, but then the insurance can also be higher and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're careful and depending on what you're comparing with, I think it can save money. But it depends on sort of, yeah, what your actual comparison is. Yes. Yeah, like at least, well, at the time. Nowadays you have electrics, but yeah, at the time that wouldn't be a thing at all. Catching myself with the front brake again. Maybe I need to like remove the front brake. I'm just kidding. No, but maybe I can have like a, if I use it, there's like a sound, like a blaring or something. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good middle ground. It's not super sandy, it's not super technical, but it's a little bit. Yeah, I really like it. Thomas Mountain is super chill, so I like that but for different reasons. Like, it's less varied. Thomas Mountain is more, it's chill as long as you're okay with a little bit of sand, but it's a little bit more consistent. Whereas this one is a little bit, you get a little bit of everything kind of situation. Not, I mean, you don't get deep sand, you don't get mud obviously, but other than that. Yeah. Because you were remembering the incline from before. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like if the entire trail was just that for an hour, that would be too much. but it's nice to get to that section. Yeah. Yeah. It felt a little bit more rutted out than I remember it, but whatever. It felt a little bit more rutted out than I remember it, but it was okay. Yeah. Big dip. Tank bag in my stomach. Yeah, here's that freaking off-camber turn, and as always I am like borderline going on the outside here because I'm too late to realize what's going on, and I'm like, even though I'm looking, yeah, it's just like I'm looking at it, right, but I'm like, oh shit, right. And then it's like, yeah. Yeah, and you're already off camber, so then it's like, well, how much can I like lean in here and not lose traction? And then you end up going wide, right? Actually, in some sense, that's kind of the hardest turn, almost. Going downhill in that turn, that might actually be the hardest part of the trail. Yeah. And you also know what's coming up. It's not like a kind of a wow, like, so you're more likely to like go slow, get scared, stall or something. Whereas that corner is much easier to just be like, oh shit. So. Yeah. But you were talking about how like you've grown, right? Like, I mean, there are things that we're regularly going over now, where I remember I was with an instructor at Gorman on a dirt bike. There was a bunch of sand and whatever, but this particular part wasn't so much about the sand, but there was a rut, so we had to cross. Like, not cross as in like cross rutting, but like cross at a 90-degree angle. And like I was super hesitant, like I was like stopping ahead of it, and he was like telling me what the technique is, and I was like super carefully getting through, like, but now I would just ride over it, like on this bike, right? And that was a dirt bike, even though I'm still like at best like lower end intermediate, right? Or I'm maybe top end beginner or something. There's just such a difference, there's such a range. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and the interesting thing for me is like the range, because there's so much further to go. Like, there's so much stuff that I'm not even doing that you could be doing. There's techniques I'm not even using. And going slowly and whatever. But even then, I feel the range, because I feel so different than what I felt several months ago. So even though I'm still at the very beginning of that scale, like there's plenty of range that has occurred. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, which I think is a combination of lack of technique for me, but also just lack of confidence and not being confident about like how much traction I actually have. Yeah. 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 Still with me? You're breaking up. I'm stopping to... no, did you? Yeah, I haven't bottomed out yet, at least not that I've noticed. Like, I don't know how good this one is at bottoming out. I don't know if it's going to be one of those sudden things or whether it just progressively, very fast, progressive increase. Oh, okay, so it's obvious. Okay, okay. Okay. Ooh, we have a Jeep. Yeah, I don't know, maybe they just went up and down and just didn't go all the way to the top. That's my guess. There's another one. Thank you. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, which I'm told is, I've been looking at the reviews and stuff for the KTM for future purposes, and apparently one of the differences between the 790 and the 890 is supposed to be the much more linear torque curve, whereas the 790 had a much more sort of powerful mid-band or upper band, apparently. Which I think is a traditional property of Ducatis, right? I'm not sure I like that personally. I prefer like a yeah, there's that, and just technical terrain, not having more of a consistent power that's not varying too much, I think is useful. And then if I'm the person who doesn't like making noise, right? So if I'm riding on the street, I don't want to necessarily go being like super high RPM, whatever all the time either. But I realize, I get it. I kind of get why people like it. It's just not necessarily my preference, but I do kind of get it, right? I can see. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot harder to stall than my dirt bike was, for example. My dirt bike was a lot easier to stall. Sandy turn. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Forcing myself not to use the front brake again. Yeah, I mean it's perfect for what it feels like. I'm not gonna lie, it is nice when it's sunny, like it just looks nicer. But it's nice that it's not as warm, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Here we go. This most sandy part. It's like a slice of Thomas Mountain. Still with me? Yeah, I can see you over there. Yeah. Yeah, that looked sketchy even from a distance. I was pretty far back, but that just looked sketchy. By the way, when you bottomed it, were you sitting or standing? Okay, because that would make it easier to bottom. I don't have a good concept of like how close I am to bottoming it out, because I'm not riding that hard, right? Like, so I don't know, but sounds like you were able to do it by just going over some stuff on these template trails. So. Oh, I see. You mean bottom out like that, as in hitting the ground with the skid plate, not bottoming the suspension. Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. And I haven't done that either, but yeah, okay. Because I feel like it would take a fair bit more than what we're doing for the most part to bottom the suspension on this one. I mean, granted, I have it in a... I see, yeah. Still with me? Cool. Somebody camping? Yeah. Me neither, but could have missed it. No, wait, I could not have missed it. On second thought. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, that's fair. Rouse Hill Road experience. We did. All right.